Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. I'm back today with another plant video. Today's video will be part 3 of my recent houseplant tour, and this time we're going to be looking at the plants in my bedroom since I showed you the plants in my living room last time, and this will be the final part of my houseplant tour. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, we are going to start on these floating shelves I have on this side wall here, and up top I have a variegated wax ivy or Senecio macroglossus, and then I have a little Hoya lacunosa. Next to that I have a white butterfly syngonium. I got that one from Home Depot like 4 years ago. And then next to that, I have a Cebu Blue Pothos. These are some pressed columbine flowers from my friend Ashlyn. And then I have a green Hoya Carnosa. This one was a Crimson Queen that reverted, so it's all green currently. And then I have a Hoya Macrophylla albomarginata, which I got from Etsy summer 2020, and it hasn't really grown for me, but that's okay. This one is a heartleaf philodendron. This one is Philodendron Brazil. By the way, if you're hearing weird sounds, that's just my guinea pigs running around and talking to me. Moving on, this is a Hoya Crinkle 8. This was my first Crinkle 8. I have several now, but I've had this one for a few years and it has grown a ton since I first got it. Next to my bed, I have this black bookshelf here, and I only put plants on the top 2 shelves because they don't really get a lot of light otherwise. So we'll start up here. And I'm sorry if it's a little dusty. I did dust it yesterday, but this thing is just a dust magnet, so please forgive me for that. This one is a Anthurium superbum, and then a Hoya Wayetii in this coffee mug. This one is a Vanilla planifolia or vanilla orchid, and I have it on this board here because in nature they do like to climb. And then a black pagoda lipstick plant. I can't remember where I got this one, but I got it as a replacement for one I had a couple years ago that sadly didn't make it after we moved. On this shelf I have a really sad Scindapsus moonlight. It is begging me for more humidity. I'll probably move it actually because it's really unhappy here, but it is still growing. It's putting out little baby leaves here and there. So this one is Hoya pubicalyx Silver Splash. I think this one is my Royal Hawaiian Purple, although I haven't been giving it bright light, so we haven't seen a lot of that purple coloring lately. This one is Hoya Multiflora, and I got this one as a cutting in 2020, and it really hasn't grown a whole lot. I hope that it does soon. That way I can propagate it and fill out the rest of the pot. But that is everything on this little bookshelf. And then we are going to look at these floating shelves above the bed. Okay, so up here I have a Hoya Dolica Sparta, or that's what it was sold to me as. I don't actually know if that's what it is. It's got really fuzzy leaves, which I think is cool. This shelf I have a Hoya Curtisii on the right, and then a Phalaenopsis orchid that I kind of keep in partial water. I let the water dry out and I kind of treat it like an air plant where I will refill the water every other week or so. Over here I have a Hoya linearis, which I love. I think it is such a cute Hoya, and the leaves are fuzzy. That one has grown so much for me over the past couple years. This one is a Hoya lobii, or lobii. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it properly, but I also got this one from Etsy. Over here, I have what's left of my Hoya obscura, and it used to be a much larger plant several years ago. Sadly, I did overwater it. That was before I knew a whole lot about Hoyas. And down here, I have a Hoya melliflua. And for the first like 2 years of having this, it didn't grow at all, like not even a single leaf. And recently it put out this one, and it's actually got some new growth coming in, which I'm really excited to see. This one is Hoya numelarioides. It's another fuzzy one and another one that I ordered online, but this one has not grown at all for me. This one is a Hoya retusa, and I have it in this cute little teacup that I thrifted. I think it's so fun to go to antique malls and find cute little teacups for all my plants. I wouldn't really drink out of them because I think a lot of them have lead in them, so I just use them for decoration. This one is a Hoya daitera, which was only one little leaf when I bought it, and now it is growing a lot. That one is so cool. It kind of looks like plasticky to me, like it looks almost fake. If you have followed me for a while, then you definitely recognize these white shelves from my last place. They actually fit perfectly along this bedroom wall here, which I was really excited about. So we will start up top. So up here on the left is a pearls and jade pothos, and then a philodendron Congo, and then a little Monstera Adansonii cutting, and a Marble Queen pothos. This one puts out a lot of white, so I think a lot of people refer to it as a Snow Queen variety. And then up here I have a neon pothos, just to kind of fill in that blank space since that wall doesn't get a whole lot of light. And Grogu, of course. Here are some cuttings in water and these cute little bottles that I found. That's everything on this shelf. I can't put too many on this one because this side does not get a lot of light, so it has to be plants that can really tolerate the shade. Down here is a Scindapsus Jade Satin, and I've had this one for several years now. I think it is so beautiful, and the leaves are so dark green that they're almost black in certain lighting, which I love. A gothic plant. This one is a Hoya obovata. This one is supposed to be variegated. Mine has very slight lighter coloring on the inside, and I'm hoping that more and more will continue to come out because all of the newer growth has more variegation than each last leaf, if that makes sense. So I'm hoping it's going to start putting out more color. Here's another neon pothos, and then down here I have a aloe vera and a variegated Hoya Wayetii. And then down here I have a plant light on a bunch of my cacti and succulents. These guys like to live outside over the summertime, but of course, living in Colorado, they can't stay out over winter. They do pretty well over here with this grow light, which is good. I'm not gonna go over every single one, but just a few different varieties of cacti here. I have a dragon fruit cactus, and then a pickle plant over there, a couple Haworthia, and yeah. On this side of the shelf, I have a Enjoy pothos that I chopped down to the soil last summer, and then another Jade Satin Scindapsus, Moving on, we have a little cactus in a super cute turtle pot that I got for my anniversary a couple years ago. And another Hoya retusa. This guy has a yellow leaf that wants to come off. Here is a Hoya Chelsea that had been abused by some bugs a couple years ago. And this is the damage, but luckily no more bugs, so all of the new growth is very healthy. And then some Hoya obovata splash cuttings that are rooting in water here. Here I have a Hoya Bertonier that is in leca. And this thing is loving life. It's always putting out new leaves for me, no matter what. And I kind of just ignore that one, honestly, unless the water gets empty. But that's about it. This one is my philodendron Birkin that I got when they were all the rage a couple years ago. And I think I paid like 40 bucks for mine. And you know, I'm not even really a huge philodendron person, but I think I kind of fell for the hype. It is a really pretty plant though. I love the white stripes, and sometimes it'll throw a little red out on there, which is cool. Down here I have another Hoya Crinkle 8. This one is in a really cute lemon pot that I show you guys every time. It's from Target. And then a Ripsalis. I think this one is Pachyterra. And the bottom part is kind of dying, so I'll probably have to propagate little pieces of it here. There's a piece I stuck into the soil that's rooting. And then my Ceropegia woodii, or string of hearts. I recently curled it up into itself to see if I can get pieces to root in the middle because it was looking a little bald there. And then a pot of Kalanchoe babies from my Mother of Thousands from last summer. And then a Hoya carnosa. This one is a reverted Hoya Chelsea. It was completely part of a larger Hoya Chelsea plant. If you can see, this leaf still kind of has its original shape, but as it continued to grow, it just kind of turned back into normal shaped leaves. This one is a Sansevieria Black Dragon. And then my Hoya Mathilde in another little teacup. This plant is so pretty. I love it so much. And the leaves are slightly fuzzy, which I'm really into. This one has been growing a lot lately. It put out like these 4 or 5 leaves in the past like month or two, which is so cool. Here's my oldest Hoya. It's a Hoya carnosa, just a regular green one. And I've had this since 2018. And I need to repot it because it's been in the same pot for years. I'm a little scared to do so because I hear that sometimes the terracotta will damage the roots, and I am really sentimental about this plant. I love it so much because it kind of kick-started my love for Hoyas. But I'm thinking if I get the clay wet first, it might be a little easier to remove it. Anyway, moving on, this is my Hoya Carrii Alba Marginata, and not much to say about that one. It takes forever to grow, but it is trying to put some new leaves out in the center there, if you can see that little stem sticking out. And then a Hoya Incrasada, or Incrasada, I've heard it said both ways. This is another one that I got from Etsy. And I really love this one now. It was kind of ugly when I first got it, and it's still kind of ugly, I guess. It's kind of misshapen, but it does some really pretty coloring when the sun is bright. Like this leaf finally faded to green, but this was bright red a couple weeks ago which I love about Hoyas, that you can sun stress them like that. This one is a Hoya carrii, just a regular green one, just a little cutting I put in some soil. And then this is all that's left of my inner variegated Hoya carrii, and I'm pretty sure it's dead, but I don't want to fully give up hope on it. It looks like there's a little green on it still. I don't know if you can tell, the camera doesn't really want to focus, but there is one little green bud there. So I have continued to water this one in hopes that I can basically raise it from the dead. And then down here I have a little storage bin that wouldn't fit under my desk, and I just have this one lone cactus here. I don't really know cactus names, I'm sorry, they tend to look the same to me. I think I knew the name of this one at one point, although I've forgotten it, but I love this cactus. It is really hardy and it has survived with me for like 3 summers now, so that's awesome. Over here I have a, shoot, this is some type of prickly pear, and again, I used to know the name of this one. This one is really cool though. In the summertime, it turns bright purple in the bright sunlight, so I can't wait to put that one back outside again. And then we are briefly going to touch on this. This used to be a Monstera adansonii, and it is clearly long gone. It is no longer with us, but I will be using that basket for something else soon. And then next to my bookshelf, I have this cute little terrarium that I made from an old fish tank, and in there I have a random assortment of things. It has kind of turned into like a rehab tank over the years. I kind of put my plants that need a little more attention in here because they tend to get better with the extra humidity. But I have a couple different kinds of begonias in there and some peperomias. You can see my purple passion plant that has really grown and is now sunburning itself on the plant light. And then there's a Monstera siltepecana in there. Just a whole bunch of random things, but they are all living together in harmony, which is really cool. We are going to look at the plants over here in my window, and I apologize because I know the lighting is going to suck, but there's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. This one is a Hoya carrii, just a normal green one. And I decided to hang it here in front of the window because it was wanting some more light, and it has been really happy for me ever since I did that. And this vine here has recently decided to start climbing, and I can't wait to see it wrap around the macrame as they tend to do. This one is my Hoya serpens in this super cool egg jar that I thrifted. I think it was for Easter, but I could not help it. I needed to make it into a terrarium. I got this Hoya serpens in, I think, 2018 or 2019, and recently it has taken off since I put it in this dome. It is loving the high humidity in there, and I need to propagate it. I love this Hoya, and it's my only Hoya serpens right now, so I want to make little babies. I have some air plants hanging on this cool thing that I ordered online, and then this one is a Hoya obovata that I bought last summer to hang outside on my porch because we get some really nice bright but like indirect light out there. And I love this plant. It is loving me back too. It keeps putting out these heart-shaped leaves all over. There's another one. So it's a little confused. It wants to be a carrii, I think, but I absolutely love it. Look at it. So cool. And then down here on this little window seat thing, I keep a bunch of plants that I have propagated, And I also keep a bunch of my succulents that need to overwinter. So over here, I have a bunch of Hoya Chelsea babies that I actually have rooted since 2020, I believe. So I need to repot those guys soon. And then some Hoya Crinkle 8, a Australis Lisa, some Hoya Bella cuttings. These I think I mentioned in my last video, but I decided to propagate my mother plant in order to kind of save it because it wasn't doing too well. And its babies are doing really nicely. They are all growing really strong, which I'm happy about. And then I have a Hoya pubicalyx. This one is a baby from my favorite pubicalyx that I have in my living room. And it's one that I never wanted to propagate, but pieces broke off during the move in 2021. And I didn't want to waste them, so I decided to grow them. And this one has really been so happy in this window here. And then a Marble Queen Pothos, a Jade Scindapsus, a couple different random little babies I've propagated, some Wax Ivy, and a Syngonium. Here's a Flapjack Kaolinkoi that has a lot of sunburn on it. Sadly, I need to move that one, I think, into less intense light. And then here I have some cuttings of succulent, and then this pot that has a Sansevieria and some succulents. Jessie got me that last summer, and those two things don't really go well together, but somehow it has survived thus far. It was braided, and you can actually see where I unbraided it from each other from those lighter marks. And then here is my giant pot of succulent that I want to fill back in. I gave it a big haircut recently so that I could propagate a bunch of these guys. These are some of the cuttings that I took actually, but I love to go to like Lowe's or Home Depot over the summer and buy their like $3 baby succulents and put them on my porch because they do really well out there. Up here I have some more baby plants, and there are a bunch of Hoyas in here, some Retusa, a couple different string of things, and a vanilla planifolia. And then I have some propagation bins with perlite in them. And then I have these 3 Hoya Polynura babies, which are just soaking up the bright sun right now. And that is everything, you guys. Alright, so that is everything for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!